Hey, Celtics Nation, let's talk about the latest game, because wow, Boston really made a statement out there. Watching the Celtics go up against Memphis, it was almost like revisiting that feeling you get in preseason, when teams look completely outmatched, and you're just marveling at how cleanly everything is put together. But the key difference here is that this one actually counted. It wasn't just a tune-up or an exhibition. This was a real, official win that moves the needle in the standings and gives the team a tangible boost in confidence. You could see it on the court. Shots that had been frustratingly elusive in prior games were now finding the bottom of the net. Players like Derek White and Peyton Pritchard, who have struggled with rhythm all season, suddenly looked comfortable again, reminded of exactly what they're capable of when the flow is right. It's like handing a kid a piece of chocolate for doing something they were uncertain about. You don't overthink it, you just let it happen, and that small reward can reset everything mentally. That's the beauty of a game like this. It doesn't need to be against a powerhouse team to have an impact. It's about the small victories that rebuild belief, that let players reconnect with their own game, and sometimes that's exactly what a team needs before heading into a more grueling stretch of the schedule. It's fascinating to watch how these wins can recalibrate both mindset and performance. For instance, the Celtics now get to take a brief break with a sense of satisfaction rather than frustration. After a loss, you head into downtime with a bit of doubt lingering. But a win like this lets the team reflect positively, assess what worked, and still acknowledge what didn't without feeling a false sense of invincibility. This isn't a victory that misleads. It's a confidence booster, a chance to realign, to see incremental progress in the right light. Watching Peyton Pritchard walk off the court, energized and joking about getting a haircut earlier that day, might seem trivial, but it's emblematic of the mental side of basketball. Sometimes, players need rituals, small actions that make them feel like they've regained control over their game. Derek White, echoing a similar sentiment, shows how much the mental component weighs in. After a stretch of feeling off, regaining that sense of normalcy can transform a player's outlook and approach, and ultimately, their contribution on the court. Now, let's talk about some of the more specific improvements we're seeing. Kata has been an intriguing piece to watch evolve. There's no denying that he has raw talent, but like anyone developing into a more reliable contributor, he's still ironing out details. One of the most promising aspects is his passing ability. He's showing better awareness this season, making smarter decisions when he has the ball, and starting to earn trust from teammates in situations where quick reads are necessary. However, there's still work to do, particularly with controlling his body on short rolls. Often, his momentum carries him forward too aggressively, and that can result in missed opportunities or unnecessary fouls. If Kata can refine this, the Celtics could unlock a more fluid offensive approach where he's not just setting screens, but actively manipulating the defense, creating space for cutters, and relocating the ball effectively. That's a scenario where his presence transforms from being simply a participant to being a central orchestrator in the offense, someone the team can lean on consistently in critical moments. His development could be the difference between an average rotation player and a pivotal piece that keeps defenses guessing. This season, the Celtics' offense has oscillated between high-effort plays against elite teams and more effortless execution against lower-tier competition. In games like the one against Memphis, the pace and spacing allowed the team to operate almost in free-flow mode, with players finding open looks and the ball moving with a rhythm that builds confidence. Against tougher teams, of course, it's not that easy. Defenders are more alert, passing lanes are tighter, and the margin for error is thinner. But these easier wins matter because they reinforce fundamental habits. When players like Kata, White, or Pritchard can connect on shots they've been missing, it's more than just a number in the stats column. It's a reminder that their technique works, their instincts are valid, and their preparation pays off. That trust in oneself is crucial in the NBA, where confidence and execution are inseparable. At the same time, observing the mechanics of these games shows how incremental improvements can have compounding effects. Kata's passing, while not yet elite, has noticeably improved, and the more he sees the game in real time, the quicker he becomes at recognizing opportunities. When combined with better control on short rolls, This opens avenues for other players like Jaylen Brown or Al Horford to exploit mismatches, and suddenly, the offense is operating at a higher level. Every successful read, every converted shot reinforces the entire system, and what initially seems like a small step for one player can elevate the team collectively. Basketball at this level is about details stacking together: positioning, timing, passing, awareness, and trust. Wins like this offer the perfect environment for those details to coalesce without the overwhelming pressure of a marquee matchup. Another interesting factor is how the team responds to adversity over time. Earlier in the season, misses were compounding, confidence eroding in subtle ways. Now, even when mistakes happen, the team has reminders of what works. These reminders, whether in practice or through games like this, are necessary for players to recalibrate. They allow athletes to experiment with adjustments, finding different angles, timing cuts, practicing new ways to read defenses, without the immediate negative consequences of a high-stakes game. It's about building a muscle memory of confidence. Players who feel more comfortable in their abilities are quicker to make decisive moves, less likely to hesitate under pressure, and more able to contribute consistently to the team's performance. We also can't overlook the mental resilience displayed in moments like this. The team enters a game knowing they have vulnerabilities. Players may be struggling with shooting slumps, injuries can be a concern, rotations might be unsettled, but still, they come out and execute with discipline. It's a reflection of preparation and mentality. The reward of a win, even against a less formidable opponent, reinforces these behaviors. It validates the process and the adjustments made during practice. For players in particular, seeing that their hard work produces results, even if incremental, is invaluable. They can carry this forward into the next set of games against tougher opponents, translating confidence into tangible performance gains. And speaking of translating effort into performance, the way the Celtics ran the offense in this game highlighted how strategic positioning can unlock efficiency. Kata's ability to spot openings, deliver precise passes, and finish around the rim when given space made a noticeable difference. When he's used effectively, he becomes a conduit for creating open looks for teammates. Even though he's still developing, the potential is undeniable. It's a reminder that talent coupled with improved game sense could drastically elevate a team's execution. As the season progresses, finding ways to integrate Kata more consistently into pick-and-roll schemes, short rolls, and ball movement scenarios could pay dividends not only for him personally, but for the overall offensive efficiency of the Celtics. It's also worth noting how these victories affect team chemistry. Moments of shared success, where everyone sees the result of collective execution, build trust and camaraderie. Players start to rely on each other more instinctively. They develop a sense of rhythm and timing that's hard to replicate in practice alone. Wins like this serve as both validation and reinforcement, allowing the team to continue experimenting and adjusting while maintaining belief in the system. Confidence gained from tangible results is far more durable than self-assuredness born solely from drills or theory. The key takeaway is that every seemingly easy win has layers of significance. It's not just about padding the record or creating highlight reels. It's about restoring confidence, refining mechanics, reinforcing mental resilience, and developing individual players within the context of the team. Derek White, Peyton Pritchard, Nimish Kata, they all leave games like this with reminders of what works, renewed energy, and subtle but meaningful adjustments to their approach. Over time, these cumulative effects can elevate the Celtics' performance in ways that aren't immediately visible in box scores, but are critical to sustained success. Now, turning our attention back to Nimish Kata, it's clear that his development is one of the most fascinating storylines of the season. What stands out isn't just the raw ability he brings to the floor, but how he's gradually learning to read defenses and make split-second decisions. You can see moments where he hesitates, just slightly, and then moments where he moves decisively, threading the ball through traffic or finding the open cutter at exactly the right time. That split between instinct and calculation is exactly where his growth is happening. He's starting to understand timing, spacing, and the importance of controlling his body during pick-and-roll situations. The difference between a good play and a missed opportunity in the NBA can be measured in inches and fractions of a second, and Kata is slowly internalizing that. As he continues to refine these skills, the Celtics' offense opens up in ways that weren't possible before. Defenses have to account for his ability to make smart passes, which in turn creates more opportunities for Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and the other scorers. Watching him in action, it's evident that the offensive potential is immense if the team can maximize his role in short roll scenarios. The challenge, as always, is execution. Kata's tendency to overextend, to commit too much momentum into a play, has been a limiting factor, but when he keeps his movements tight and precise, he becomes a dynamic asset. The pick and roll becomes more than a standard play. It becomes a strategic tool that can collapse defenses and generate high percentage of scoring opportunities. It's a skill that requires not just physical ability, but mental acuity. Recognizing how defenders are reacting, anticipating rotations, and making the correct pass in real time. This is the next frontier for Kata. An encouraging part is that the signs of progress are visible in nearly every game. Jordan Walsh's emergence alongside Kata is another compelling angle. Walsh has begun to show glimpses of versatility and defensive awareness that can make him a key contributor. The Celtics now have multiple young players capable of making impactful plays, which adds layers to their strategy. When Walsh reads the floor effectively and Kata executes short rolls with precision, the offense starts to flow in a more natural, fluid manner. It creates spacing, opens up driving lanes, and allows shooters like Pritchard to find rhythm. In essence, the Celtics are slowly building a system where individual talent complements team dynamics, making them less predictable and more difficult to defend. One of the most important aspects of these developments is the impact on team confidence. Basketball is not just physical, it's intensely psychological. Players feed off one another's successes and failures, and a positive performance from one player can cascade across the entire lineup. When Kata and Walsh execute a play correctly, it reinforces the belief that hard work and attention to detail pay off. That kind of feedback loop is essential for a team that wants to compete at a high level consistently. Confidence isn't just about making shots. It's about trusting that your decisions, your reads, and your instincts are valid. That trust allows the team to take calculated risks, play faster, and create opportunities that wouldn't exist in a more tentative environment. It's also worth examining how these improvements affect game-to-game consistency. The Celtics' rotation has been adjusting, fine-tuning who takes on which roles in high-pressure situations. Players like White, Pritchard, Kata, and Walsh are learning to adapt to different lineups, recognizing when to attack, when to pass, and when to position themselves defensively. The mental growth is just as crucial as the physical execution. A player who understands timing, spacing, and defensive tendencies can impact the game more than someone relying solely on athleticism. This blend of intelligence and skill is what separates good teams from elite ones. And the Celtics, with these young contributors, are slowly tipping toward that elite threshold, especially when veterans like Tatum and Brown continue to anchor the team both on the court and in the locker room. But before we continue, please remember to subscribe to the channel and give the video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest news about the Boston Celtics. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. The NBA rumor mill never sleeps, and the latest whisper has Boston fans on edge with excitement. Kevin Durant, one of basketball's most polarizing and electrifying superstars, has apparently sent a message that feels tailor-made for the Boston Celtics. It wasn't an official statement, but the kind of subtle signal that sends social media into overdrive. A few carefully chosen words that Celtics Nation instantly interpreted as something more. Durant, known for his competitive fire and cryptic online behavior, has a history of stirring speculation without saying too much. But this time, his comments felt personal. Sources close to the situation suggest that the veteran forward recently praised the Celtics culture and their gritty championship mindset. To casual fans, it might sound like just another compliment. To Boston diehards, it sounded like an invitation. Within hours, Celtics supporters flooded forums and X, formerly Twitter, dissecting every syllable. Could Durant actually be eyeing a move to Boston? Could there be unfinished business between the Celtics and the player who has often been their postseason nemesis? The idea might sound far-fetched, yet in today's NBA, nothing feels impossible. Superstars change teams overnight, and loyalty lasts only as long as the next title opportunity. Insiders claim that Durant's message didn't come out of nowhere. The Celtics' current roster, brimming with talent and defensive discipline, has earned the respect of veterans across the league. For a player like Durant, who still burns with championship ambition, Boston could represent the perfect mix of legacy, challenge, and redemption. Still, no one truly knows what Durant's intentions are. Maybe not even Durant himself. He's a master at keeping fans guessing, letting rumors breathe just enough to ignite conversation. Whether it's genuine interest or just respect for a rival's success, one thing is certain. His words hit Boston like a spark in dry grass. Now, Celtics fans are watching every move, every post, every quote. The message was brief, but its echo continues to grow louder. Could Kevin Durant really be sending a signal to Boston? Or is it just another chapter in the endless theater of NBA intrigue? Either way, the city is buzzing, and the Green Faithful are daring to dream. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Boston Celtics, please subscribe to our channel and give the video a like. We always appreciate your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.